Welcome to the Yorkshire Voice podcast this Thursday, the 2nd of May. Coming up today, inconsiderate drivers splashing pedestrians, new Harry Potter artwork is up for auction, and lots more as well. I'm Phil Towers. I'm joined in the studio today by Ben Webster. Hi, Ben.
Hello, Phil.
I'm joined by Xiao. Hi, Xiao.
Hi, Phil.
And we're joined by Darren Harper. I nearly called you Darren Webster then. Darren Harper.
Who the hell's Darren Webster?
Oh, exactly.
Best surname.
But first today, a new exhibition previewed yesterday evening at the Dominica Association in Bradford's BD8. Black Inventors, A Rich Heritage, showcases the contribution to the world of innovation and invention made by Black people. Well, our reporter Jane Gregory spoke to the exhibition creator, Chris Peltier.
I've come up 3 flights of stairs at the Dominican Association here in Bradford to see the exhibition about Black inventors and to talk to Chris Peltier, the creator of this exhibition. It's remarkable, full of incredible stories of people that I certainly had not heard about, who invented a lot of the day-to-day objects that we use. Chris, do you mind introducing yourself?
Yeah, my name is Chris Peltier. I'm a freelance artist now, I think, because I've created an exhibition.
Fabulous. And what is the exhibition?
The exhibition is called The Real McCoy, An Introduction to Black Inventors, A Rich Heritage. But it's a bit of a play on words, because the rich heritage, yes, people did make money from their inventions and the innovations. However, the richness is also in the stories. There's some real rich stories behind each and every inventor or designer.
And would you like to pick out one of those stories? Would you be able to tell us something about one of those inventors?
Yeah, well...
Yeah, we can walk along.
Yeah, Mary Van Britten. Mary Van Britten Brown, to give her a full name. She was a nurse, and her husband was an electronics engineer. They worked different shifts, and she was a bit nervous being alone in the house by herself. So she actually designed the first CCTV, and her husband, being an electrical engineer, worked with her, and they both basically brought about the birth of CCTV, which in its innocent days was a really good thing for keeping people safe, etc., in your own homes. And obviously then it transferred onto buildings and property and things like that. Even up until 2013, people that were designing CCTV were referencing her patent in their designs.
And I see that she only passed away in 1999. So, that isn't ancient history, is it?
Exactly.
But I'm imagining this exhibition is happening because a lot of people don't know about the people and the inventors.
It's very frustrating. I mean, every now and again you'll say stuff. You'll hear people say, "Oh, a black guy invented the light bulb, didn't he? A black guy invented the mobile phone. Black guy invented," and then somebody will come back at you and say, "No, it wasn't a black guy that invented the light bulb. It was Thomas Edison, and it wasn't a guy that invented this," and come back with another name. And it's so frustrating that you only have bits of information. And it's like Black history. In terms of Black history, it's like, for want of a better word, and I'm glad I'm using it, we're shackled by the history of slavery. And it's like, that's our only history. It's not. We have a wealth of history and a wealth of innovation and inventions. And it's like they say, necessity is the mother of invention. Well, in a lot of Black countries and developing countries, whether it's Asian countries, Caribbean countries, there's real necessity and real poverty. And that's where true innovation and true necessity creates ideas and sparks. From that, you'll see a lot of the everyday items that you use today are invented by a Black person. Even coming into the door of the exhibition, it was a Black person that invented the door handle. Even coming up the lift to bring the things up the lift, people don't realize that a guy called Alexander Miles invented the sliding doors on lifts. Before that, you had the gates, but the sliding doors that you walk up to that open was invented by a Black man. In terms of the light bulb, yes, Thomas Edison did invent the light bulb. However, he couldn't get his light to stay on for a long duration. Lewis Latimer, he was a patenting lawyer at the time in his own right, and he invented the carbon filament in a vacuum, which then made lights last for longer. It was a lot cheaper to make them, so it made it affordable. And now ironic that we don't even know that Lewis Latimer, he sold his patent to US Electric Company in America, which is equivalent to our GEC, if you remember GEC, English Electric Company. But he then played a crucial role in supervising the installation of street lighting, not only in the America, but in the UK. Why don't we know things like this?
Chris was telling me that he put a lot of effort into making the exhibition visual. So, for example, Edmund Berger, he is the inventor of the spark generator, which later led to the creation of the spark plug. And in this exhibition, we have a model of large model of a spark plug that is sparking.
What I found when I was doing research into some of the inventions and that is you'll find several stories, and quite often they've tried to dumb down the importance of a black person's role in a particular invention. Similar, like I said, with Lewis Latimer and his involvement in the light bulb. Now, what you'll also find is that some, again, going back to Lewis Latimer, they described him as a gopher working for Thomas Edison, but he was a patenting lawyer in his own right. He was working with the likes of Alexander Graham Bell on his telephones and that. He was so good at drawing and illustrating technical detail and wording. Anybody knows about patenting, your wording's got to be very clear in what you're claiming is unique. And he was so good at that, Thomas Edison actually headhunted him to come and work for him because Thomas Edison was working on so many inventions. So you get the truth in one journal, yet you've got other people saying, oh no, it was just a gopher for Thomas Edison and stuff like that. And it's so sad that people are continually trying to write us out of history. So this is an opportunity to just give you an introduction into the everyday items that black people have made, been part of, and to share it with the world, to inspire young people in general, young black people in general, even adults have been inspired. And it's important that everybody knows about our value, because unfortunately, the stories that you see in the news and the press are 99% negative about black people. And this just shows a positive role alongside the sports and the other stuff.
That was a great report there by Jane Gregory, and the exhibition opens on Saturday at 3 p.m. Well, next today. Well, new figures have come out today that say a third of pedestrians in Yorkshire have been splashed by a passing car.
Splash! Ah! Have you ever been so true?
Oh, that's absolutely terrible. I do apologise, everybody.
Splash! Ah!
Someone.
Have you ever been so true?
Well, the research by Green Flag has also found that 11% of Yorkshire drivers admitted to deliberately splashing people by driving through a puddle. Now, is that shocking?
I don't think it's. I would be expecting it to be higher, to be honest.
Yeah.
I feel like you see it a lot more.
Have any of you ever been soaked by somebody driving past and driving into a puddle?
It has happened a couple of times. There's one particular road near where I live that does get a little bit waterlogged, and I've seen a number of people. It's happened to me once, and I didn't. I can just imagine the driver driving off and just laughing.
Now, Darren, I'm going to put this out there.
Yeah,
I think you're a splasher.
I have splashed, and I have been splashed. This is true.
Do we think splashing deserves punishment?
Well, an eye for an eye only makes the world blind, but yes.
Yes.
Yeah. I've been drenched far too many times by drivers, to be honest. And not being able to drive, it means I have no way of getting any retribution. So I need to call on the swift arm of the law to stop me from getting so drenched.
Well, some vital research has been carried out on the science of the splash. A car driving at 10 miles an hour will make a splash that reaches 2 meters, but a car driving at 40 miles an hour will make a splash 3 meters high and will reach a distance of over 4 meters. So the message there is if there's somebody 4 meters away, you've got to put your foot down if you want to get them.
Yeah.
Well, the Road Traffic Act says that driving without reasonable consideration for others would class as careless and inconsiderate driving. This comes with a fine of £100 and 3 penalty points. Do we think that's fair? Do you think that's not enough?
Well, I guess it depends on the splash, doesn't it? You got smaller ones, but if you say 4 meters high.
Well, there is a higher penalty. So that fine could increase to up to £5,000, right? If the behaviour is found to be an act of incompetence, selfishness, impatience, or aggressiveness.
How do you prove that?
Well,
that's my issue.
question.
How do you prove that it's incompetence? I'll be intrigued.
I think if you bring it up to the driver and you do their reaction, if they're angry or, annoyed that you've accused them. But if they just laugh at it, I think you should let them go.
If it's all done in fun,
Yeah.
then just let.
Oh,
Hang
hang on. Oh God, I'm sorry, that's awkward. I seem to be getting a FaceTime coming through. Just bear with us a second, guys. Hang on. Oh, this isn't the time for this. Right, I'll call you later. I'll call you back later. Right, okay. Anyway, new research has found that parrots can tell the difference between a live video call and a recorded video message. Is that not unbelievable, right? The University of Glasgow, it says that parrots enjoy talking to other feathered friends of theirs, and those who do it are less lonely. What do you think of that?
Well, I think what we can think of is that the research at the University of Glasgow is wholly underfunded. Because
I think it's good that everything else has clearly been researched now.
yeah. There's nothing else we need to research. I know. Parrots on FaceTime. No one's done that. I'm thinking about my PhD, actually. I'm thinking of doing one, and maybe this is what I need to be looking into.
Well, I mean, I can give you a few more details. Well, I mean, each bird had a profile created with their photo on it, and tablets were then provided to their owners so that the birds could make video calls. The parrots were then trained to ring a bell when they wanted to interact with the screen, and they also took part in a meet and greet session where they were introduced to other birds. I think they have to use the beak to swipe left and right. I don't know. But researchers found that video calls to other parrots could reduce the isolation that parrots can often feel in domestic settings, because in the wild they live in flocks and they socialize with each other. So, I mean, I'm going to put the question out there. If you could FaceTime any animal, what would that animal be?
I would want to FaceTime Coco the gorilla, the Western lowland gorilla, who claimed to be able to speak over 1,000 words in sign language and had a pet kitten. I just don't buy into it. I'd like to give him a FaceTime and just ask what's going on with that, to be honest.
That's fair. Xiao, is there any animal that you would like to FaceTime?
I would prefer owl because I'm night owl, so it's a good time to accompany each other at that time.
Yeah, that's good. So your timings will be appropriate for each other. Yeah. How about you, Darren?
I think I'd like to FaceTime my dog, Buddy, just to see what he's getting up to during the day, because he always looks a little bit sheepish when I get home, and I'm wondering. So I think that I've often thought about setting up elaborate CCTV just to see what he gets up to during the day, but I've never got around to it. So if I could just FaceTime him, then that'd be a lot easier.
Well, who says he'd pick up?
Well, then we'd be having words, really,
or barks.
Well, yeah.
Anyway, let's move on to our final story today. Well, an original watercolour from the Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone book has been put up for auction with an estimate of more than £400,000.
Bargain.
Yeah, I know. Well, it's the highest pre-sale estimate ever placed on any Harry Potter-related work. Well, the illustration by Thomas Taylor is on the cover of the debut editions of the first book in the series. And I spoke with Kalika Sands from Sotheby's in New York. Yes, I did. And they're holding the auction. She's told me what is so special about it.
It's remarkable to consider that Taylor was one of the earliest readers of Harry Potter. So it was really up to him to take J.K. Rowling's prose and conceptualize what Harry would actually look like. So this illustration is remarkable because it's the first time we actually see things that are now iconic. So Harry Potter's lightning bolt scar, his round glasses, things like the Hogwarts Express, even platform 9 3/4 is featured. You can see the little sign. So these are things that are absolutely associated with the character and with the novels more broadly up to this day.
Amazing stuff. Well, we spoke to some people in Bradford to ask what they thought of this and if they thought it was worth that price tag.
It's really hard to have an opinion on it. Art, the thing about art is something can be really amazing, really beautiful and not cost a lot, and then other things are priced. It's so subjective, isn't it?
I don't think it's worth that much, but it is worth a bit of money.
No, definitely not.
You never know. Definitely not. What do we think? Is art ever worth that amount of money?
It's a difficult question to answer because you can approach it from the thing of, is the art actually that good? And you could probably say no for the vast majority, but its value is determined by whoever decides to pay it. If someone wants to pay £400,000 for this, more fool them.
But I suppose what you got to consider is that this artwork, this was created before the films were released, and he's basically set the tone for probably, you know, how we all imagine that whole universe to be like, because, you know, he sort of created those images that first sort of came up with, you know, platform 9 3/4 and the glasses and the scar and everything like that. So he's actually, you know, had such an influence on how that whole world has grown and developed, and, you know, it is massive, isn't it? And it's obviously a part of that is down to J.K. Rowling's writing, but his sort of visualization of that is incredible.
I think if you've got that much money, that you, I agree with Ben. I think it's a lot of money but I see the importance, and if you're willing to pay that for a piece of art, then great. I'd rather pay 400 grand for a Harry Potter piece of art than, I don't know what else is one. Who did the unmade bed?
Oh, Tracy
Emin.
yeah.
Tracy Emin. That's not worth 400 grand. I mean, realistically,
that's
my
on a
bedroom.
fortune if that was,
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, if someone came to me and said, oh, you know, 400 grand for an original Ralph McQuarrie of like Star Wars in his concept art, yeah, I'd 100% buy it. But I would need to have 400 grand just like down the side of the sofa to be able to do that.
Well, I thought for a little bit of fun today. I don't know if any of you know actually, but I own a sorting hat because I'm such a fan. And anybody that's watching this podcast go out on the video can probably see what a good piece it is. You know, it's very authentic. And I thought what I'd do is I'd go around and I would see which house you're all in. Does that sound like a good plan?
That sounds good. Yeah, I'm up for that.
I'm gonna have to take my headphones off, so who knows what's going to happen now.
Is it like the normal sorting hat that if we get chosen into one, we can choose another one?
No, you get told what house you are in. So
right, okay.
Remember, the sorting hat eats naughty children, so just be careful you haven't done anything too bad
So we're
recently.
going to start with you, Ben. So let me just put this on your head there. So it's just having
right. The hat is on the head now.
This feels very unfamiliar having a hat like this on my head.
Hang on, I'm going to have to take it off. It's going to speak to me now.
Oh,
Hello?
The sorting hat is talking to him.
Ben is hardworking.
Oh,
hardworking.
Dedicated.
Okay.
Let's put you in Hufflepuff.
Hufflepuff.
Yeah. Round of applause for
Hufflepuff.
We're going to move on to Xiao now.
Xiao, okay.
Hands on your head, if that's okay.
Yeah.
That is having a think about it. Are you getting anything coming through?
Anything?
It's moving.
Whoa.
So, what do we think?
What's it going to say this time?
Is brave.
Brave.
Daring.
Daring.
Chivalrous. Wow, that's a fun word. I didn't think I was going to say that one out.
Don't say that about me.
Gryffindor.
Gryffindor.
Yeah.
That's the one everybody wants.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Last
Not
but
Hufflepuff.
by no means
Oh, that
least.
basically means I'm going to be slithering, aren't I? This
not
is
sure
what
about
this
that.
means. Okay. Right. Just check, Ben. No lice or anything. Just no.
No, a couple, but they're nice. They're good people.
Okay. Right.
Struggling here.
Right. Okay. Oh. Okay. It's difficult. I know. I'm a conundrum.
Hello.
Yep.
Is
answer.
Is that even a house?
Oh, right.
I thought that house had been disbanded.
Disbanded house, we think.
Oh.
Right. Well, it's been reopened in your honour. Welcome to UKIP.
UKIP.
Oh, yay.
I'm going to sign into the noble house of UKIP.
Wow. Okay.
So, was there any surprises
Devastated.
there, everybody?
I'm fuming about Hufflepuff.
Hufflepuff.
Wish I'd been put in UKIP.
I mean, I was put into Slytherin. You'll be pleased to know because I am.
Well, you're ambitious, cunning, and a natural leader.
That is what I am.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm disappointed.
Yeah.
Intelligent, curious, and witty. I would have gone with that and gone Ravenclaw.
What for you?
Yeah.
Well, that's not what the hat thought.
The hat knows. The hat knows.
The hat
Pretty
knows
smart hat.
nothing. The hat
Beat me at
knows
Scrabble
nothing.
once.
Well,
Unbelievable.
on that note, I think we're going to have to leave it there for today. That is all from the Yorkshire Voice podcast this afternoon. Thank you very much to Ben.
Thank you, Phil.
To Xiao.
Thank you, Phil.
And to Darren.
Thank you.
We will be back with more. Yes, really, we will be back with more tomorrow if that wasn't enough for you. But from me and the rest of the team, goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.